place of peace within the heart is the hometown. It is not just the land where we were born, but also the place that holds our childhood, laughter, tears, and the scent of fields and breezes from days gone by. In the hurried pace of modern life, people venture far to chase their futures. Yet strangely, the farther they go, the more they miss the crow of roosters at dawn, the smell of freshly cut straw, and the dusty red dirt path trodden by childhood feet. The place of peace within the heart is not some lavish or bustling destination, but where the soul returns to its most primal state, that is the hometown. Amid life's chaos, sometimes just closing our eyes brings back the image of a small house, the sound of a mother's call from the porch, and the heart suddenly feels as light as drifting clouds. The hometown is not only the place where we were born, but also the anchor that holds our soul, so that no matter where life's storms carry us, we always have a place to return, where we remain whole. Thus, peace does not lie in distance, but in memories and emotions. The hometown teaches us to love, to cherish, and to know that no matter how vast the world may be, there is always a place waiting for us, a place called home, a place named peace. Peace lies within the mind, yet people, unaware, frantically search for it outside. We chase it in bustling cities, in tranquil mountains, in vast seas, forgetting that peace has never left us. It quietly resides within our own minds. The more we grow, the more worries we carry, and the easier it is to lose the calm we once had. People think peace comes from wealth, success, or the applause of others, but even when they have it all, their hearts still waver, empty. True peace does not lie in where we stand, but in how we see. One can sit amid a crowded city, yet feel calm, while another in an empty field remains restless. Peace is not the silence of the world, but the stillness within the soul. When we learn to let go, to smile at imperfections, to see life with forgiving eyes, peace comes naturally light as a passing breeze, deep as the glow of dusk. So, do not seek peace outside, for its true home is always within us. When the heart is at peace, all things are at peace. When the soul is still, the world becomes gentle. Only by accepting our flaws and seeking to mend our broken pieces can we hope for days of peace. No one is perfect. Each of us carries cracks, incomplete fragments within. Yet instead of facing and understanding them, we often choose to hide, covering them with a facade of strength and pride. We fear weakness, fear our wounds being seen, not realizing that denying them only weighs the soul heavier. Only when we are brave enough to look deeply at our flaws, generous enough to accept them, do we take the first step toward peace. For peace does not come from perfection, but from reconciliation with ourselves. When we realize we don't need to be like anyone else, don't need to chase the world's standards, but only need to be a better version of ourselves than yesterday, then the heart grows lighter, more peaceful. The gaps in our soul are not something to be ashamed of, but opportunities to learn to love, to cherish, and to fill with kindness, patience, and compassion. Peace only truly comes when we stop running from ourselves. For those who learn to love their imperfect parts are the ones who walk the fullest path of the soul. The two words, inner peace, are easy to write, yet it takes a lifetime to truly feel what peace is. We can write peace in seconds, say it in a breath, but to truly feel it, we may need half a lifetime, tasting sweetness and bitterness, enduring loss, pain, and moments of falling down. Only after passing through storms do we see the value of a carefree afternoon, a smile without motives, or a sleep unburdened by worries. Peace is not when life has no storms, but when we learn to smile amid the tempest. It does not lie in the clamor of success, nor in the silence of solitude, but in the moment we feel enough, feel at peace, and no longer compete with anyone. Peace comes when we stop blaming, stop comparing, and simply live fully, slowly, lovingly. Perhaps to understand what is peace, we must live a full circle of life, from innocence to maturity, from desire to letting go. And then we softly smile, realizing peace was never far. It was always in our hearts, but we were too busy to notice. To have a place to return to is home. To have people to love is family. To have both is happiness. A happy life requires a peaceful soul. The home, whether grand or humble, rich or simple, is the final haven after life's ups and downs. It is where we set aside our weariness, where laughter rings from a small kitchen, where a late-night lamp still glows, waiting for our return. And family, ordinary people with extraordinary strength. They love us at our weakest, forgive us at our worst, and shelter us when life turns its back. To have both home and family is complete happiness, a quiet, unflashy happiness, enduring and deep, like an underground stream nourishing the soul. Yet, to hold on to that happiness, we need one thing above all: a peaceful soul. For if the heart is not at peace, no matter how grand the house or how loving the people, we will still feel empty. A peaceful soul is the root of happiness when we cherish every moment with loved ones, smile at simple things, and know that having a place to return, someone to love, and a heart at ease is the truest happiness of life. Peace is when we look back at the years gone by and see a path full of bumps and thorns. Yet here we sit with only a few faded scratches. Perhaps all of us have stumbled, been hurt, and spent long nights filled with tears and desolation. But peace comes in the moment we look back at the rugged path, realizing that despite its roughness, despite moments we thought we couldn't go on, we overcame with all our strength, faith, and resolve. The scratches of the past no longer hurt. They faded with time, becoming marks of our growth. They remind us that we were once weak, but also strong, once lost, but also rose again. Peace does not come from never being hurt, but from having been broken and still choosing to love life. Sitting in the present, we sigh softly, not out of regret, but gratitude, grateful for the thorns that taught us resilience, the wounds that taught us compassion. And in that moment, we realize peace is when we can smile at what has passed and feel light in our hearts today. Life is short. Live it meaningfully, without regrets for what we've been through. Time passes so quickly that sometimes we're startled to find youth slipping away. The once burning dreams now just echoes. That's why living meaningfully isn't about living longer, but living deep in emotions, in experiences, and in the moments we truly live, not just exist. Each day that passes is a gift, holding both smiles and tears. Dare to love, to err, to fall, and to rise, for these are the colors that paint our lives. Regret lies not in what we've done, but in what we didn't dare to do when we had the chance. Living meaningfully is loving wholeheartedly, forgiving sincerely, and cherishing every breath in the present. And one day, looking back on the path we've walked, we can smile and say, I lived, not perfectly, but fully. For though life is brief, with a heart that loves, feels, and gives, every moment becomes eternal. We cannot change the past, but we can make the future brighter. No one can turn back time to rewrite mistakes, or erase the scars of old wounds. But that very past, with all its stumbles and lessons, is the foundation for building a stronger future. For we only truly grow when we look back without blame, learning from what was lost to start anew with faith. The future is not a miracle born of luck, but the result of the choices we make today. Every positive thought, every kind act, every small effort paints a brighter picture for tomorrow. Don't let the past bind us with regret. Let it light the path ahead with experience and courage. For the past is a teacher, the present an opportunity, and the future a reward for those who dare to change and live for the better. When we let go of what's gone and pour our heart into what's coming, we not only create a brighter future, but find peace in the very journey of growing. Cherish every second of life, for it never returns. Every moment that passes is a grain of sand slipping through the invisible hourglass of life, and no amount of power or wealth can buy back a single second. Thus, cherishing each moment is not just a reminder, but an art of living, the art of those who love life, feel deeply, and live fully. Life is too short to let time slip away in regret or resentment. Say words of love while you can, forgive while your heart is warm, and smile at the simple things around you. Every morning we wake to see the sunlight, hear the birds sing, breathe, and live. That is already a miracle. Happiness does not lie in a distant tomorrow, but in this moment when we are grateful for the present and live fully within it. For once time has passed, it never returns. But if we live each moment fully, life becomes a beautiful journey, free of regrets. The older we grow, the more we realize that arguing over right and wrong, winning or losing, often matters less. What matters is simply wanting peace. We once dove eagerly into debates, fighting to defend our views, thinking that winning an argument meant conquering the world. But after navigating life's uncertainties, after enough pain and loss, we learn right or wrong often matters less than peace in the soul. Maturity is staying silent, not because we've lost, but because we no longer wish to hurt anyone, not even ourselves. We realize that everyone has their own perspective, their own pain, their own journey. Instead of striving to win or lose, we choose to understand and let go. For peace comes not from winning arguments, but from overcoming our own ego. When the heart is calm, we need not speak much. When the soul is at peace, we need not prove anything. True peace is when we can smile and walk away quietly, leaving behind meaningless noise and keeping only a light, forgiving heart. For in the end, winning or losing fades away, but peace remains forever. Only by accepting our flaws and seeking to mend our broken pieces can we hope for days of peace. We often try to hide those flaws, fearing others' judgment or abandonment, but the more we conceal, the wearier our hearts grow, for no one can live freely while unable to face themselves. Only when we are brave enough to look straight at the cracks in our soul, kind enough to accept our imperfections, does the journey to peace truly begin. For peace is not about erasing flaws, but learning to love them and mending them with growth, patience, and kindness. The gaps in our lives are not cause for despair, but a chance to see that every crack can let light shine through. And when we fill those gaps with love and effort, the soul grows still, lighter, and more peaceful. For peace comes not from perfection, but from acceptance and healing. Peace is not the absence of difficulties, but how we face and overcome them. Peace is not a life free of storms or challenges. If life were only rosy, we would never grasp the value of resilience faith, or the very peace we seek. For true peace lies not in circumstances, but in the attitude and strength we bring to adversity. When storms strike, some complain and resent. Others stay silent, breathe deeply, and calmly find a way through. In that moment, when we refuse to let fear or despair take hold, we touch the essence of peace. Peace is knowing that life will always have storms, yet standing firm in their midst without falling. Each challenge is a test, a lesson that helps us grow and understand ourselves better. And once overcome, we realize what seemed to break us was actually a bridge to peace. For in the end, peace is not a life without upheaval, but a soul that stays calm amid the chaos. Peace does not come from outside. It springs from within our souls. We often chase peace in far-off places, in silent forests, vast oceans, or modern comforts. Yet the more we search, the emptier we feel. For true peace lies not in where we go, but in how we live and feel. It is not a gift of the world, but a whisper from deep within the soul. When the heart is restless, even majestic nature stirs unease. But when the soul is calm, even a noisy city feels serene. Peace is letting go of the unnecessary, not resenting the past, not fearing the future, but cherishing the present moment. It is when we no longer seek others' approval, but learn to love and accept ourselves. Like a lake calm only when the ripples cease, the soul finds peace only when it stops striving and comparing. Once we find the light within our hearts, everything outside becomes gentle. For peace is not a destination, but a state of a soul that knows enough, loves, and rests. Find peace in every moment and be grateful for the small things in life. Some days, the world is so loud that we want to retreat, to hide in a quiet corner and listen to our own breath. Peace does not lie in grandeur or dazzling dreams, but hides in the simplest things, like morning sunlight slipping through a window, the scent of coffee lingering in the air, or a loved one's smile after a long, tiring day. When we pause, feel, and give thanks for these small things, our hearts naturally grow calm. For happiness has never left us. It only waits for us to slow down and see that peace is not far, but in every moment we live fully and with gratitude. To live a peaceful life, learn to let go and accept what cannot be changed. Life is sometimes like a river, calm in parts, turbulent in others. We cannot stop the wind from blowing, slow the pace of time, or bend others' hearts to our will, but we can learn to let go, like a leaf drifting on the water, ceasing to struggle against what we cannot control. When we accept that some things must simply be, our souls grow lighter, our hearts more peaceful. Peace does not come from holding everything tightly, but from the moment we let go of stubbornness, of expectations, making room for calm and compassion to bloom in our souls. Wake each morning with gratitude and seek the positive. That is the way to create a peaceful life. Every morning is a new gift of life, a chance to start again with a light heart and a soul full of hope. When we open our eyes, instead of rushing to worries or pressures, take a moment to smile, breathe deeply, and give thanks for being alive, for loving, for facing challenges, and for dreaming. Gratitude is the key that unlocks the door to peace. A positive attitude is the light that guides the new day. Though challenges may lie ahead, with gratitude we see freshness in every raindrop, opportunity in every trial. Peace is not the absence of storms. It is learning to smile through the tempest and still see a rainbow in our hearts. Live in the present and savor every moment. That is how to truly enjoy a peaceful life. Life flows like a song, and every note carries its own beauty if only we listen. When the mind lingers on the past or frets about the future, we miss the wonders unfolding before us, the clear laughter of someone dear, the scent of morning, or the gentle sunlight caressing our skin. Living in the present is learning to pause, to feel, and to be grateful for the simple things. For peace is not found in chasing distant dreams, but in savoring every breath, every smile, every moment life grants us. When we truly live in the present, we realize that happiness is nowhere else but here in this moment, where our hearts beat peacefully with life. Peace does not come from solving every problem, but from the ability to accept and live in harmony with what we cannot change. Life is never perfect, woven from joy and sorrow, success and failure. We often chase the desire to control everything, believing we'll find peace only when all problems are resolved. But the truth is, peace lies not in erasing troubles, but in facing them with a calm heart. When we learn to accept what cannot be changed, our hearts grow lighter, like a lake stilled when the wind stops blowing. Living in harmony with reality is the art of maturity, where we are no longer swept into the whirlwind of anxiety, but let go, smile, and find peace amid life's imperfections.